hmm You know, this what's known as the civil liability. Yeah. In civil matters. Yes. These are liabilities imposed under the civil as opposed to the criminal law. Mhm. The quality, state, or condition of being legally obligated for civil damages. Yes. Now, of course, I'm going to sue you for the civil damages of refusing to enforce the Supreme Court rules. But I'm going to ask my sons to sue you too, and I'm going to want them, and I'm going to want them out of that school. Now, they have a large amount of the legally obligated civil damages. Yes. For allowing for a petitioner to motion the court for dissolution of marriage, knowing that their father was on probation. Yeah. And she may or may not have included the stipulation in order. Yes. But as soon as you, as a court, see the financial declaration of the family, you were obligated to enforce their civil right to due process of the enforcement of the Supreme Court rules. Now, as I said, well, this morning was 100 billion. You haven't seen that yet. Yes. But I'm going to sue you. Yes. My sons are going to sue you. Yes. And any and all individuals that I name are going to sue you. Now, this thought that you're not discriminating against the respondent because of the false accusation of domestic violence and child abuse? Yes. Because somebody was arrested and they're guilty even though they're proved innocent? Yes. The thought that you don't have to protect the rights of men because they can go out and get a job and get their own attorney. Yeah, I think there's a huge civil liability, yes, for violating the due process rights of my five sons right now. And that they shouldn't have been in the wrong grades for the last 8 years, 3 months, and 13 days. Yes. And they should have been removed from the custody of my wife as soon as you found out that I didn't get any notice of court hearings. Yes. She made up some crap about not being able to know where I was. Yes. And since I lived at the same location that she lived at when she moved here, 1023 Yes. I would say that these civil liabilities, yeah, they go for child abuse, yes, child neglect, pooch, kidnapping, child abduction, yes. And then there are some international treaties, conventions, and agreements that I'm going to sue right now. Now, it's $100 billion afternoon. And when I told you that I wanted them, you seem to laugh about this whole idea of the equal rights of men and women. But as soon as a petitioner petitions the court with a financial declaration that I don't have any money, I'm a victim of domestic violence. Yes, my sons have been abused by their father. The civil matter would have required that as soon as you had, yes, within your grasp the financial declaration, for you to think that I had some money that she didn't have, yes, that I was just going to borrow it from relatives, yes. See, a loan is not an actual asset. I'll give you an example. $180,000 of unsecured debt. And for some reason, you didn't think that I was indigent. You know, even if I had $150,000 in cash, yes, and $180,000 in debt, I'd still be in the hole $30,000. And the thought that she said that I made all financial difference. Oh, aiding and abetting liability, civil or more typically criminal liability, imposed on one who assists in or facilitates the commission of an act, yes, that results in harm or loss, or who otherwise promotes the act's accomplishments. Yes. See, aid and abet. Yes. Now, it does say civil or more typically criminal. But let's look at this dissolution of marriage for just one moment. In the civil matter of what is known as Superior Court Case number 12-3, yes, 00217-3, Judge Ken Williams received a case information cover sheet, yes, a petition for dissolution, yeah, a summons, couple confidential reports, yes, this service civil relief, yeah, and then a financial declaration. Oh. And the judge thought that I had a whole bunch of money available to me that my wife didn't have. Now, as I remember it, she didn't include any actual finances. Yes, there was no bills or what she was paying every month. No, it was these state issued forms where you put in any arbitrary number that you want, and you don't have to prove anything that you say. But when it involves the aiding and abetting liability of kidnapping, how are you, CPS? The aiding and abetting liability, yes, of child abduction, child abuse, child neglect, misprisioning felony, ooch. I would say that I have the right to sue each and every employee of each state for the aiding and abetting of fraud, yes, mismanagement, abuse, corruption. And then there was fraud, abuse, abuse, mismanagement. Yes, there was a mismanagement, abuse, fraud. There's a fourth one there, isn't there, right now? Now, aiding and abetting the liability of a woman lying about her economic situation. Yes, where she didn't include the community property debt. No, no, no. She may or may not have included the stipulation in order. Yes. She didn't include that her husband was indigent while on Guam. Yes. That she said, well, he used to make $250,000 a year. Now I'm going to want to sue CPS. Yes. DSHS. Yes. The charity that helped facilitate this fraud. Yeah. Healthy Families of Clallam County. Yes. And then, of course, there are the employees of the state and the federal government that have any knowledge of this. It's going to be one of those $100 billion afternoons. And you're keeping me from my son.